The September 25th meeting of the Law Committee. First thing on the agenda is the August 28th meeting minutes.
So
Is there a
moved.
motion approved? Mr. Sinacci, second Mr. Besson.
Ralph's right
All in
on
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So, no special guests here, so why don't we go with the agenda as it's numbered. Item number 1, resolution number 127, 216. That's Mr. Higgins.
You table 1 and 2 of my request.
1 and 2 is both tabled. Items number 3 and 6, Reso 411 and Local Law O. Those are both mine. I'll be tabling those, as well as items number 4 and 7.
3 is charter.
I'm sorry, I jumped ahead there. Local Law O, who is the,
3 is Drake.
Oh.
He's
Drake.
not here.
all right, so we'll table 3. And now, items number 4 and 7 and 5 and 8 are both mine. I'll table both of those.
6 goes with 3. That's table.
So we up to
7
9?
goes with 4 and 8 goes with 5, so we're moving right along. Items number 9 and 10, these are our 2 redistricting commission.
Mr. Chairman, I would request it be tabled.
Okay, just to give us an update, I understand you
I had a
folks met
meeting
recently.
yesterday, Friday, with Ms. Cunningham, and we had a good conversation. We are moving forward. We're going to be reviewing some language, and I think things are on track. And I'm cautiously optimistic. You know how it is with politics, you never know for sure, but we're both, I think, of the mindset that we want to accomplish something. We want to make sure what we're doing is acceptable to the greatest number of members as possible. So we're taking time. Obviously, you know, we're not bound by this election this year because it can't happen, so we want it to be right.
All right, excellent. And I think I say it every month, but it bears repeating every month. Excellent work by both of you working on a bipartisan basis to
Well, let's
try to move forward with one piece of
Well,
legislation.
good. Thank you.
All right, so items number 9 and 10 will be tabled each per the sponsor. Item number 11, resolution 267, amending the Albany County Legislative Rules of Order in relation to public forum. Mr. Signorachi,
Yes,
Hold on, I sent it.
number 11.
No, 11's Dawson. That's
We
Dawson.
got that mixed up. We're about 1,000 tonight. Number 11, Mr. Dawson is not here, so we'll table that for the sponsor, and we're also waiting for an opinion on the county attorney on that proposal. So, now, Mr. Signorachi, item number 12.
item number 12, looking to move out this evening. What we're going to do is we're going to, on the public hearing and the public forum, we are going to live stream each of those in attendance to be taken at the beginning of each of those meetings and everything as is, but we're looking to live stream the meetings, the public hearing, as well as the public forum in each of those respective meetings.
All right, excellent. And Mr. Jeffers, I believe we are prepared to
Yes.
publicly stream.
We will be
both those at our
streaming.
next available meeting.
Yes.
All right, excellent. Let me
We
just-
will not be recording at this point, but we will be live streaming.
Live stream.
We'll be broadcasting. All right, any questions or comments on this? Mr. Fine?
Is that provision on the live streaming in this resolution right now?
No, as an amendment, my apologies, Mr. Fine, that I wanted that language put in because there was some sort of dialogue going back whether it was going to be taped or live streamed. Because our legislative meetings are live streamed, we're going to live stream the legislative meeting as well, starting at 6:30 with the public comment, and then on the 4th Tuesday of every night, every month, we're gonna have the public hearings live streamed as well.
Okay.
So that individuals can sit at home, they can tune in, they can watch us in all of our glory, get on our soapboxes, and, everybody that comes in that speaks is also gonna be live streamed. And our attendance will be taken at each of those meetings. So when we gavel in at 6:30, first order of business will be a roll of everybody that's present. Then the meeting will start with the first speaker that'll be called in, and then all of those speakers will be live streamed. And we'll go right into the regularly scheduled meeting, where there's a whole separate rules and procedures for that meeting.
Okay. Another question. So that will be amended before the vote takes
Correct.
place? And also, will there just be one set of attendance at 6:30, or will there be a 6:30 attendance and then attendance before the actual meeting starts?
So there'll be two sets. One will be at the 6:30 for the public comment period, the public comment period, and then at 7 o'clock or whenever, 7:15, 7:10, whenever we start the monthly meeting, there will be a attendance, because that is currently in our rules that, attendance is taken at the beginning. This is
Okay.
just amending the rules that, what we're live streaming, and part of the whole dialogue is that there's many legislators that don't show up to the public comment period and/or the public hearings on the fourth Tuesday. So as soon as we're going to broadcast them, we're going to take live stream, and individuals that tune in, and for those that want to have individuals be able to view us, they'll be able to view with the roll call of attendance, see who's there and who's not there. Because some individual, whether it's my district, your district, or Mr. Mayo's district, may not know all of the legislators, so that we can wind up seeing who's there, and they'll call a roll call, and they can get to know our charming personalities and our smiles.
Thank you.
So two roll calls, one at the beginning of the public comment period and a normal one at the beginning of the full.
Yes, sir.
Understood.
You gonna smile through both?
Probably not.
Ms. Lockhart.
Just a quick question. Do we have the ability to know how many people are viewing it each month?
Yes, I believe we do. I can get those numbers. I know they are very, very small.
Yes, I know.
4,
Do we
6,
know what the
9.
cost of this has all been since we started?
No, I don't, but I can find that out as well. The only cost now is the cost of the technicians who are involved.
Which would be probably overtime, right?
Yeah, some overtime for once or
And I know
twice
they
a
have to
month.
review them too, before they put them away.
Well,
He's on OT right now.
But this
I believe.
is,
Look at his
but
smile.
this is being recorded.
Right,
Right.
Ours is being live streamed.
right,
So you go in, you push a button, and it's gonna be live, so there's gonna be no playback.
right.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be live.
So they only get that chance to catch us once.
Correct.
Yes.
What a
Make the
shame.
most of it.
That's gonna, hopefully they'll wind up picking up the.
Wait a minute,
viewership.
I got a question. So you're saying that we're gonna be live streaming it but not recording it?
Correct.
Why is that?
Because I'm the sponsor of the bill, and that's what I asked for.
Well, it makes no sense, because if you missed the meeting, or you can't be watching it at the moment that it's happening, then like I missed last month, it would have been lovely for me to come, that next morning and be looking at it.
Something
As I
like-
understand, I think the question of whether we're gonna archive these and obviously, essentially rebroadcast them is one of the things we're asking the county attorney to look at in terms of our liability protections, in terms of rebroadcasting things. So I think we're seeing this as a preliminary step until we get a little more guidance from the county attorney on that
Baby steps.
larger point.
Okay, but we do these meetings immediately without anybody
But this was already,
vetting them.
this was
These are no
already,
public comment.
this is no public comment, this is internal. So because now that there's public comment, could wind up putting the county at risk.
Yeah, I get that, but so I'm just wondering about the other part of the meeting that's our part of the meeting. Are we still gonna
That's-
post that on the website as
Yes.
I
usual?
believe that is archived.
Yeah.
So that'll be regular. That's like
Regular
the public
meeting, yes.
comment period, that's really questionable.
The only
And I
thing,
understand that.
we're actually adding, we're not taking anything away.
Right.
We're
They're
adding-
already
we're
doing
going
it.
in
So we're
baby
adding,
steps.
okay, so we're gonna archive and live stream the regular meeting,
And-
and possibly in the future
To archive.
to archive the public hearing.
The public comment, and
Okay.
then the public hearing.
All right.
But we're taking attendance, which wasn't done before.
Right, that's the punishment part, I got that.
And then there's the live streaming that people are gonna be able to view it if they want to so
Right.
choose that they can't make it to the courthouse. Then, once we get a county attorney's opinion, and the body wants to move forward, then we can add. These are videotaped and recorded, I think that this was Mr. Clenahan's, baby. Then going into, kind of baby steps, doing the public hearing, public forum, then, which wasn't there, we're live streaming those, which is gonna be, putting us out there more,
Okay.
so we can pick up viewership and we can, get that out to all of our constituents. And
Viewership.
We can count our likes and stuff.
So you want to move
I got
your-
500
Yes,
followers.
remove it with the,
as amended.
as amended with the favorable recommendation,
way I
if you
dance.
guys are so kind.
Is that a motion? Well, Mayor, and
I don't know if I can make a motion.
Yes, you can.
Best
I'll
I
make
have
a
Mr.
second.
Best in the first, and who wants to second it?
I'll second.
Mr. Feeney, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, excellent. Gets us to item number 13, resolution 296, setting the policy of Albany County regarding background checks of employees.
Mr. Ward is not here. Mr. Ward, Mr. Bergdorf, myself, Mr. Zignu have worked on this. We finally, as a matter of fact, I have it here, what we hope is the final version, which will pass out, give everybody a month to look at it, and then hopefully move it out next month.
What's the genesis for this?
Genesis?
It's got, what's the reasoning behind, are we simply updating the current policy?
We have no background check
There is no
policy.
current policy.
Creating one,
Creating one.
yes.
I think they want it to be across the board more than.
Yeah, I think Mr. Ward gave a brief once over, I think last month's meeting, so I assume if we're gonna talk about moving this next week, he can be here
He'll be
next
here
month.
Oh,
To kind of give a rundown again, answer any questions.
Well, no, you look all fresh and everything.
All right, so we'll table that till next month. Item number 14, local law P for 2016, the Ackley local law that is Ms. Lakakis' in mind. We held this up last month for any more questions or thoughts. Does anybody have any of those? Any questions or concerns? All right, is there a motion?
I'll
Mr.
ask
Kratky?
a question.
Fine.
My question is, there was discussion about the enforcement of the law, and were there any changes made to allow for enforcement?
No, I think in terms of the enforcement, we're gonna rely on the Human Rights Commission. I think we probably do need to look a little long-term in terms of what the Human Rights Commission is doing. We're giving them more authority between this, hopefully in agenda law a couple of years ago, so I think that's something to look at, but for the meantime, we're prepared to work just within the mechanism of the Human Rights Commission.
Okay. So that's not stated in the law, but they are already.
It's stated in the human
Believe it
rights
is.
law.
It's
And
stated
then,
in-
and
yeah, but
number
it's not
10
yeah.
in the human rights law also says that anybody claiming to be aggrieved can have a cause of action in a court of appropriate jurisdiction. So if they're not satisfied with the Human Rights Commission, all of that, their last step is to go to court.
Okay.
And I feel like it's more like one of those things where you have to set the bar. And it'll probably won't be a lot of people suing anybody or going to the commission immediately, but if you keep throwing it out there and, talking about the things that are fair and equal, then eventually our world might become fair and equal.
Yeah,
But until then,
that makes.
we have to,
Mr. Kraus?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not a member of the committee, but I have a question. Does this, and I'm sorry, I don't remember, but does this just impact employees of Albany County or all employees who work in Albany County, even if they're not working for the government?
yes,
This would be
Everybody.
countywide.
Everybody?
Yes.
yeah.
Which is also what the state of Massachusetts did last year and the New York City Council did, I don't know, about 8 months ago now, I think.
The agenda bill was countywide, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was not just countywide, okay.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? I think Mr. Higgins.
No, I'd like to move it out.
Okay. Mr. Higgins, a motion, is there a second? Mr. Signaratchi, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thanks everybody.
One more time.
And finally, local law number G for 2017, local law of the County of Albany, amending the Albany County Charter to implement a nepotism policy. I believe that's being tabled by the sponsor.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
He did hand it out the
All
other
right,
day.
gets us to current business. Item number 16, a local law extending the term for the lease with Soldier On Inc. to a maximum of 65 years. Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Very well, thank you.
I apologize, I didn't realize you were going to speak on this. I would have tried to get you up earlier because you are a special guest.
Not a problem.
Hope you didn't take an eviction.
I can't believe I'm a special guest, I just thought I was a, regular old guy, but I appreciate the special guest, yes.
Special guest, you got to see the whole committee.
Exactly.
I believe, yeah, these are the secrets.
All right, do you want to give us a quick rundown of the proposal?
Yeah,
I know we've
this
been talking
is-
about this a while.
We have, it's been a long process. So, this is actually a pretty quick change. We've already authorized a 50-year lease, well, you folks have already been so kind as to authorize a 50-year lease. What we found, and by we I mean mostly Soldier On at this point, Went through the whole seeker process with the town of Colony, and that allowed Sojourn to begin the grant application process through New York State HCR. Once they began that process, it became increasingly clear that the financing for the project, while able to be obtained, required a longer period than 50
Oh, we've
years.
heard that song before, haven't we? With the neighbor. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Let's
didn't mean to
digress.
interrupt.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Specific to this one, it's the first time, but anyway. So, we basically are coming back because we want to give them a lease that is, I guess, useful for the project, but not excessive, an excessive amount of time. So, the request is to have a lease authorized that is concurrent with the amount of time required to access funding.
Mr. Signachi?
Is it fair to say, is it fair to say that the lease term will be concurrent with their financing terms or in that neighborhood?
That's what we're looking to achieve through this action, yes.
Yeah, the lease will not, can be up to 65 years, but it may not be 65 depending on
Correct.
financing.
Depending on the financing.
So-
So,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, I was gonna say, if there's no other questions, I'm moving.
Well-
Where's the resolution? I don't have it, I just have the backup.
So this is an RLA, this was generated from our office, so it's typically with these sort of things, the resolution wouldn't be generated until the next meeting, because we can only submit RLA forms, we don't submit resolutions, the majority office drafts the resolution.
We don't even have a resolution.
Well, it doesn't get drafted until after the meeting. They're not gonna make the resolution.
Well, I mean, I guess what are we being asked, I can't vote on a resolution I don't have in front of me.
Well, you don't usually have most of the resolutions.
Sure we do.
Most of the resolutions that are on this are all resolutions that are, well,
Well, we have this.
Oh, we have those
All I have
forms
is
with
the
the little
RLA.
check boxes.
Right.
Doesn't our office
So
usually draft
anything
them
that's ever
before this
submitted
meeting?
by
Not
the
for this
executive or the executive department is never a resolution.
Leah Gitano gives us
Yeah,
all
never,
those
because this is
little
local
forms.
law, it's supposed to go through a public
That's
hearing process, so we've got a little,
Oh, a little time.
yeah.
So there'll be a public hearing, hopefully as part of this, a public hearing will be set for the end of, what month are we in? October.
Yeah, I think the point is to see if the committee's comfortable with moving forward with this slight change to 65 years in terms of the lease term.
This is, local law H is the lease.
No, local H is another one.
No, look, this is local, that was my mistake when I
Oh,
explained it.
okay.
Local H does have to do with this, yeah, this is local H. The next one is, there's another local law that isn't even on here that I want to discuss as well.
So this is to move the public hearing out?
Yeah, to move the public hearing out, he's just, what he's doing is he's explaining what the terms of the lease will be. We're gonna have a public hearing on those terms at the end of this month, like we do with every other, public hearing on the local law. And then the local law will be brought back hopefully in November if there's no issues with it.
What, does this need to be expedited? Is there,
So
when's the grant due?
it'll be a tight schedule, but it should be achievable. So currently, Sojourn's application is due to New York State HCR in December. And if they miss that deadline, then we lose a whole year. We're in that portion of the project now that, once the application's in, they'll notify us by the middle of next year, and then the project has to begin by fall, we'll say, of next year. And if not, then you basically lose your federal funding. So, as long as we hit that timeline, we can do the background work to make sure that we're prepared should the legislature be okay with moving this forward. And then we'll be good to go, but we should be okay.
One more question. Many of us have expressed concerns that Soldier On have been planning to operate a male-only facility. I understand they are planning to offer equal services to female veterans now.
Yep, so, yes, Mr. Chairman, you're correct. So it's in a couple different ways, and that question's come up a couple times, whether it was the presentations we did to you folks or through the process we've recently gone through with Colony. So since that time, the way HUD, New York State HCR, does these projects, even though you can't phase the seeker has to be for the full project, the funding comes in phases, right? So, the female portion of the project will be incorporated into one of the phases, or there's actually another possibility that recently has come up, which may be mutually beneficial to Soldier-on's future neighbors, the Shakers, and Soldier-on itself. So if you actually go to the site, there's, I believe it's the trustee house, for those of you familiar with the site. So it's a historic building, beautiful building, seen better days. So the concept is to either integrate it into the existing facility, which would, well, either way, one is a rehabilitation intense project, and the other one, you have to get creative with how you set up the site. The reason being is that Soldier-on will provide services to whoever comes to them, female or male. There is a significant disparity between the number of individuals that are male that they provide services to and female. But there's also a historical issue with the fact that females have not wanted to be housed with males across the board. So they have to find a creative way of having them on the same site or finding, that's why the trustees' house has emerged as a potentially very beneficial option, because it's a separate facility while on the same site. So yes, that's a very long way of saying that a solution is going to be incorporated in the project.
And this will be incorporated in the lease terms as well, right?
Sure.
In the local law. Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. That was important to a lot of us. I think that's a key thing for the project. Ms. Lakakis?
It's probably unrelated, but I'm gonna say it out loud anyway.
Okay.
So if you're gonna give a 65-year lease to Soldier-on, then does that mean that you're going to give a 65-year lease to the Shaker Heritage Society, who has come before us many times asking for an extended length of time lease for the same exact reasons, because of funding, because of, she can't get funding unless she has a long-term agreement with us? Is that something that, it never comes up in the conversation, although she has come a couple times and asked for it, so not in any of the committees that I'm on, which some of them you would think they would be.
There is a distinction, Ms. Dukakis. They're investing millions of dollars into us facility, including their own money, and they're giving us a product in return where people can go and live, whereas the Shakers are just managing property that the county owns. And the county, in every case, can make the same application for the funds on behalf of the Shakers.
That's something that's negotiated through the executive side on the lease agreement.
Okay.
We don't negotiate leases or contracts.
Okay.
On this, what we need is a motion for the
No.
public hearing to be held on 10, I believe it's 10/24.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, so that's on note 17.
Yes.
Ms. Lockhart, Mr. Rachi, all in favor?
It makes sense if they're gonna hook them together that day.
Thank you, guys.
No problem.
There is one other one. Recently, this, go forward.
So 10 years ago, the governor of New York State at the time, and I can't remember his name, signed a bill giving local governments the ability to give Cold War veteran exemptions on certain taxes. That obviously ran out, that's in 2017. Governor Cuomo signed an extension of that about a week and a half ago, but it's an opt-in thing for municipalities. So we need to go ahead and opt back into this new extended state law. So real quick, I guess we will have a local law draft by the full meeting, but we wanted to move forward on this concept now, if everybody's okay with that.
I need a public hearing on this one,
And a
too.
public hearing on this one also.
Do we have any
That's good.
stats? How many people take advantage of it?
There's not many left, but I know in the village we still have some.
On the Cold War?
There are some, I don't, the numbers are in the municipalities, we don't.
Remember, Cold War was defined as serving up till end of 1991, so probably more than we'd think.
Oh, that's all.
Okay, I think there was a motion, Mr. Ignachi, with a second. Ms. Lockhart, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that is it. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor? All right, thank you, everybody.